Good day, beautiful people. April is Financial Literacy Month. And with that being said, there are several topics that I want to cover that are extremely important to your financial well-being. The first is having a budget and to have the family on board with that budget. That includes your spouse, your children, or any extended family that may be affected by your financial situation. Sometimes children think you have a little bit more than you actually do, and they don't understand the importance of having a budget and being told no and knowing the difference between wants and needs. So it's important to come together as a family at least once a month or every few months so that everybody is aware of the situation and what's going on, what can be done, what can't be done, and to go from there as a unit. The next thing is paying your bills on time. It is so important to pay your bills on time. In the financial climate that we are in, people are getting further and further behind in their debt and on their payments as far as credit cards may be concerned or any other types of important payments, student loans, home loans, anything of that nature, car loans. So it's important to try to pay your bills on time. Do not overextend yourself. If you're on a budget, and even if you're trying to get out of debt faster, just stay with the regular payment. Stay with whatever your payment is if that is all you can do at the time. It's better just to stay on task and on time rather than to overdo it and go lacking in another area. Being responsible with credit cards. It's also extremely imperative that you know what your interest rates are. If you are familiar with Dave Ramsey and the snowball effect, if you are paying credit cards down, you want to pay the highest amount off first. But sometimes it's important to know what those interest rates are also, because sometimes the interest rates can outweigh how much you actually owe in comparison. Review your credit reports. You can get a free credit report at annualcreditreport.com every year. It's important to check the 3 bureaus once a year. So that's 3 free credit reports every year so that you can know what's on there, what should be, what shouldn't be. You can have incorrect information removed or incorrect information corrected. Check your children's credit report. As I said before in another short, sometimes children are taken advantage of, and it's not by the parents. It could be another close family member or friend that has access to that child's social security number and information, and they can go and get loans or extensions of finances in that child's name. It's important to know what's going on with that child as well. If you see any sites that give you a credit report and they're charging you for it, a reminder, you do not have to pay for it. You can get it for free, and even on annualcreditreport.com, you can also have the option to get a report on a weekly basis because there have been so many breaches and fraudulent activity going on as of late. Next, I want to talk about co-signing. It's important to know that if someone could afford something, or if they were in a good financial position to be able to obtain whatever it is they're trying to get, they wouldn't need a co-signer. Don't ever sign for someone. Please don't do it if you don't have to. For a spouse, possibly. Someone you know that is going to be responsible, possibly. But in almost all cases, it's not a good idea to co-sign for someone. It's either because they don't pay their bills on time or they don't have the financial means to cover whatever it is they're trying to purchase. Also, if they default in any way and you are the co-signer, you are now responsible and they're coming after you for whatever it is that is owed. Buying a home. You want to make sure you keep your debt below 20% if you are seeking a home. Don't apply for any new credit within 1 to 2 years before you purchase. Save for down payment, and also check with NACA, NACA, and other down payment assistance programs as well. Life insurance. That is the basis and the foundation for financial success and well-being. Because if anything ever happens to the income bringer of the family, that's pretty much lights out for the family. And a lot of people in families lose their generational wealth because of the lack of life insurance or adequate life insurance. So make sure you have enough. If you have children, dependents, you have them covered, and make sure you also note beneficiaries. Sometimes you don't have beneficiaries listed, or they're out of date if you got a divorce. And I've heard stories where someone got a divorce and the ex was still the beneficiary and the new spouse didn't get anything. So stay on top of your game. Make sure all of your documents are always updated. Having a will and a trust in place is always important. Make sure that you go over it while you are still alive so that there are no surprises when you pass away for family members to be fighting and bickering over. Also, another important type of insurance to have is homeowners insurance or renters insurance. Also, landlord insurance if you are a landlord or property owner of any sort. Make sure you have the insurances that you need and that you are covered in the case of anything hitting the fan.
Note, if you are an investor and you are working on a flip or renovating a home, it is also important to get dwelling insurance, even if that home is not occupied. You do not have to have an occupied property in order to get insurance. If you get insurance on it, it will be for the purchase price. That way, if anything happens to it, you will be covered for at least what you put into the property purchase-wise. Another reminder concerning insurances like car insurance, even health insurance, and especially any type of homeowners or rental insurance is to increase your deductible. If you're comfortable with that, that will also save you on your premiums.
On your bank accounts, you want to make sure you have POD. POD stands for paid on death. If anything happens to you, there's no guessing game. The money in that account goes straight to that person. No questions asked. It's smooth as a board.
I know the whole spiel about Social Security may not be here in a few years and things of that nature. However, it is available right now. And should anything ever happen to you, you need to know how much your family would qualify for. So check your Social Security account. Go on to ssa.gov and create a My Social Security account. That will tell you all of your personal benefits if anything were to happen to you. You may not pay much in to the Social Security system, but every little bit helps. And it's a green and white paper that comes in the mail. You may or may not have seen this, but if you did, that's what it is. It's a statement that tells you once a year what your family would qualify for. But if you haven't gotten this or you don't remember getting this, go online again to ssa.gov, create a My Social Security account, and you will be able to see what you qualify for in disability and what your spouse will qualify for if something were to happen to you, meaning you were to pass away, how much spousal support they would get, and also how much your dependents would get if anything were to happen to you. When my son's father passed away 18 years ago, my son qualified for a survivor's benefit for children or dependents of parents who have passed away, or caregivers, guardians that have passed away that are legally responsible for them. Again, if you haven't gotten that 2-page document in the mail, go online, create it so that you can see what you are actually qualified for. This is something that a lot of people don't even think about because they just think, oh, it doesn't exist and won't apply to me. It won't apply to you if you haven't put a whole lot into the system. But if you have, you need to know that it will be available to you and you need to make use of it and make sure that your family knows about it and how much they will qualify to receive.
Another thing is to adjust your elections on your payroll. If you see
You received a refund?
chances are you're having too much taxes or too many taxes taken out. So that might be a good thing to do and go and look at. Also check your pay stubs to make sure that there aren't any unnecessary deductions being taken out. Life happens. Maybe you got married, maybe you got divorced, or you just don't need a service anymore. So make sure you go and you check that, and anything that's not needed anymore or anything that's been changed, be sure to go ahead and update that because it could save you some money. Next, pay attention to ATM fees. I know sometimes we get in a crunch, but you have to remember that these ATM fees add up, especially if you are at an ATM that is not an affiliate of your bank. This was not at all an exhaustive list of financial checkpoints, but it's just some, and some of them that you may have missed. So I hope that this video was helpful, and remember to get your financial house in order. You all be blessed.